Frances. Frances was, and I'm sure she still is, beautiful. She joked that she could check every ethnicity on the standardized test form which asked Black, Hispanic, Pacific Islander, or white. Frances was some of each. She would wear her hair every kind of way from brushed out to braids to tiny little twists all over her head. Frances stayed with her auntie until just a year ago because auntie's boyfriend was becoming too interested in Frances. Frances had to stay with her grandmother. Since grandmother didn't live so near to the school, and Frances wanted to finish her senior year at the same school she started, she needed to take 3 buses to get to our campus. Some days she would be particularly grumpy when some guy on the bus would mess with her on the way to school. Okay, there wasn't that much time left of the school year after the spring break. I started picking her up in the morning. Frances would always be ready and waiting on the porch of her grandmother's building when I'd pull up. She really was a great kid. She was with the Drama Rap Team Club. They worked several years fundraising, preparing for their trip to Ghana, Africa that summer. Frances sent me a postcard from Africa. One morning, she was talking to a tiny kitten as I pulled up. "Is that your cat, Frances?" "No way, it's just a sick, stray flea bag." I couldn't resist. It was so skinny and so tiny. I thought it was gray-striped, but realized those were its tiny ribs poking through his dirty black fur. He was clearly in trouble, and I knew he had to come home with me. She wouldn't touch it. It was so small, it fit in one of my hands. I put it on the dashboard of my car as we drove and let it walk back and forth, crying all the way to school. I didn't want to leave it in my car all day, so I put the little guy in the oversized pocket of my dress. Good thing I wore it that day, and carefully dashed up to my classroom. I emptied the top drawer of my desk and put the cat later to earn his name. Trouble in there. Luckily, kittens sleep a lot, but every now and then a squeaky meow would come from the desk. One of my 2 observant students heard something. He opened the class window, which overlooked the roof of the next building. "I think there's a cat up there." "Yes, it's probably on the roof," I lied. Frances was in the class that period too, and she played it so cool. She looked at me and raised her eyebrows. I smiled. What a great kid. As I was leaving for the day, with the sick tiny kitten bouncing around in my pocket, the principal stopped me to chat about absolutely nothing. He heard the little meow, and I stepped back so he could see the squirming bulge in my pocket. "Good night, Miss Coldwater. See you tomorrow."